Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us here for a few minutes to listen to these presentations. My name is Patrick Lucy. I'm the president and CEO of Wheeler Bio, a contract development and manufacturing organization based in Oklahoma City. We focus entirely on mammalian cell culture antibody-based therapeutics. And just to touch on this opening slide, the key message here is the high science, high touch. I think that Wheeler has built a culture both internally and with our clients of timely transparency. We understand as sponsors of these molecules, information is critical and timely information is more critical. And so part of partnering with our partners is all about communication, but in a timely fashion, so they can manage downstream vendors, internal stakeholders, and make sure they're making best use of their resources and finances. Like most of us here, this is really the mission of Wheeler Bio, to accelerate the translation of our partners' drug discoveries into clinical impact for patients. Clinical impact for patients is obviously the most important part of that mission, but we intentionally use the word partner. We are aspiring to have a relationship with our customers that's well beyond a vendor relationship. And so we allow or we enable full transparency and accessibility of our team, and we work shoulder to shoulder with our partners to advance their programs. In terms of the platform that Wheeler Bio utilizes is this modular CMC platform. So when you think about a new startup biotech company or mid-sized biotech company and they have a molecule in discovery, at that point in time it's the most expensive capital a biotech company will raise. They have a molecule, it's somewhat speculative, they have in vitro data, maybe some in vivo data, but no human data. And so they go out and raise capital, and we, as their CMC arm, need to make sure that we deliver on the promises they make to their investors and to their board. And that means delivery of a phase 1 trial on budget, on time. And so the Wheeler team over the past several years has studied this translation in a series of work packages that you see on the screen, work packages 1 through 9. And these are discrete work packages with discrete timelines, deliverables, and pricing that we put together, customized, a bespoke approach with each molecule to make sure we can deliver on that client's requirements from a CMC perspective. In more detail, we see the work packages here lined out. And as we all know, that we live in a time of regulatory innovation, where the agency is looking for ways to expedite these molecules into the clinic and through the clinic. And so when we sit down with our clients, this is essentially the list of work packages, but Wheeler is open to modifying our approach, our flexible approach for clients. And this is really a risk-based approach of communicating to our clients of what we could possibly defer post-IND and see to accelerate the timeline or reduce cost. And you'll see on the center of the slide there, you have the classical approach of developing a cell bank, generating tox material, doing tox studies, and then a phase 1 batch. But in the center, you see using stable pools as an example of accelerating the tox study by sourcing material from the stable pool that we are confident is representative when we develop the cell bank. So the product made from the cell bank and the stable pool will be consistent. We use innovative cell lines at Wheeler. We are a big user of the Atom cell lines, but we also have cell line diversity. We're agnostic to cell lines, working with Revity, Asimov, Atom, and several other cell line developers. So we're open to using alternative cell lines throughout process development. And really coming back into the antibody space after previously running a cell therapy CMO, there's really two things people care about in antibody development for a CDMO. How fast can you get me a GMP batch and how much is it going to cost? And that's what we live every day. And our peers in the space kind of set the pace of about 10 months from gene to a GMP batch for a certain amount of money. And so that's what we look at every day of how do we accelerate that timeline to go from gene to GMP effectively with not too much risk in delivering a GMP product to our clients. In terms of the modular CMC platform, obviously, like I just mentioned, the need for speed. It's all about speed. So if some of you have seen an industry report at the end of last year talking about innovative biologic molecules. 15 years ago, if you got a biologic molecule approved, it would take 15 more years to have 3 competitors to that molecule. Today, it's 3 years. So our customers need to maximize their time in market to maximize their return on the investment. And that's why they want to do this in less than 10 months, in less than 9 months, and keep pushing the timeline. So speed is critical to our partners. Quality and quality is table stakes, and we've got to maintain a high level of quality. Scalability as well. So how do we manufacture product for a phase 1, but with line of sight to producing material for phase 2 and beyond? And finally, like I mentioned at the start of the talk, certainty of timeline and deliverables, making sure we deliver on budget, on time, in full for all of our clients. That's #1 commercial goal for Wheeler. In terms of our capabilities, as I mentioned, we use a broad array of stable cell line technologies. So we're open for clients to bring their own cell line, but we can practice the Atom technology and the Revity technology internally at Wheeler. And for the Atom technology, we're also enabled to issue end-user license agreements. So Wheeler can go from gene to a GMP batch internally. Process development, as you would expect, fully capable process development, analytical development, early formulation development to make sure we're putting these molecules in a matrix that makes sense, and then delivering both preclinical and clinical material. We've also heard from the market over the past 2 years that they really want an end-to-end relationship. They want to sign one MSA, and they want drug product at the end of the day from a gene. And so what we've been able to do is put together a partnering, integrated partnerships. And it's interesting that we're standing here because Pyramid, our fill-finish partners right here, and Charles River is an investor in Wheeler. So we're in good company here. But and Alloy Therapeutics is also an investor in Wheeler who do drug discovery. So Atom and Revity cell lines, but again, we're agnostic to cell lines. So we work with any type of CHO cell line. Wheeler Bio does the CMC. We've partnered with PharmAffects to prepare regulatory documentation throughout process development to make sure that stays off the critical path. And so they're compiling that Module 3 CMC section of an IND while we're doing process development and can point out gaps in the data in advance of being on the critical path. And finally, Pyramid here to my left is our fill-finish partner. So if you sign an MSA with Wheeler, that will be all the way through drug product, and we will handle the drug product with Pyramid under a single project management team. And finally, in terms of our partnerships a little bit further, so when a client does work with Alloy for drug discovery using their fully humanized mouse platform, if you select Wheeler as your CMO partner, Alloy is going to give you approximately $300,000 to $500,000 discount on your clinical milestones that would be due to Alloy, and dollar for dollar up to $5 million of money spent with Wheeler off of your commercial milestones. So Alloy has incentivized their clients to come to Wheeler in terms of CMC support. In our recent financing, we've added Mitsubishi Corporation as an investor, but they've also put a team on the ground in Asia Pacific that's representing Wheeler and doing business development for Wheeler in that part of the world. And finally, as I mentioned, Pyramid is our drug product fill-finish partner as well. So with that, and that's clearly the coolest looking GMP manufacturing facility I bet anyone's ever seen, but that's right downtown Oklahoma City. We have a great team of about 80 employees in Oklahoma City, 30% of which have advanced degrees. And Wheeler is poised to grow over the next 12 to 18 months, and we intend to add antibody drug conjugate capability, as well as large-scale 2,000-liter single-use bioreactors. And with that, I'll leave it at that. Thank you all for your time.